Christy. Uh-oh. Am I muted? Thanks, Harry. Welcome back to the second hour of Lovebabz Love Talk. I'm Babs Rose Ivy. Thanks for tuning in on 103.5 WNHH. And we're live streaming all over the place, wherever Harry has us. YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever else. Hey, Ife.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you.
Yay! Third annual DiasporaCon is coming up April 27th.
It's the fourth.
The fourth?
I think it is. This is our 6 years, the fourth DiasporaCon.
Oh, is it the fourth one? Ooh, Harry, I put the third one. I didn't realize.
We had two at Quinnipiac, and then last year at the Dante Center.
So this is the fourth one.
This is the fourth one at next.
All right, Harry, make us a new flyer. The third one. So it's coming up April 27th. It's going to be, where is it going to be at?
Next Haven, 169.
That's a good space.
It is.
It's a good space. All right, so what's on the agenda for? What can we expect for this one? Is there a theme? Is there speakers?
Well, of course, it's the year of X, and there's the flyers behind me. Radical revolutionary reading. And I was hoping Juanita could join us, but she's not feeling well. But the programming is going to be workshops, 3 workshops and speakers, and okay, let's go through the workshops. There's going to be an indie creators. There's going to be an indie creators panel with people that, like, I guess they got their own zines and all the comic books and stuff, graphic novels, illustration revolution.
Ooh.
Oh my God, these creatives. I mean, you know, when we were little Babs and they was talk about, like, don't scribble.
Yeah.
Man,
now they're making a small fortune scribbling.
Don't scribble. Don't make, listen, it goes right from there to, like, illustration is deep, because it goes right from the paper to the screen.
And right? I love the fact that you bring to us Black folks in this game, because we don't see them until a DiasporaCon showcases them.
Yeah, and that's why when it started, it was the year Black Panther came out, I believe, 4 years ago. Was that 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And but the first Lit Fest, when we had them, we had a comic book graphic novel section for the first 2, and I was realizing, and of course, my team, well, Julius was with us that time, and he was like, he's going to all these cons, and he got to look far and wide at these conventions for these people, and I always look at the credits of things when I'm watching movies or TV, because what people don't realize is in the credits is with the people that put the work in and make the actors look good, and what you see and give you that experience, right? And nobody looks at, like, the graphics team, the scenery, all the things. They are, like, the main thing on a lot. They got the jobs. So we have a conference. So DiasporaCon is actually a conference to highlight opportunities. So that's why she got the illustration revolution, and then Deans and DIY publishing. Those will be the panel discussions. Mm-hmm. So a zine is easy. People could do that and learn how to, get them together and do some do-it-yourself publishing. There's workshop Power in the Fist. I'm not sure what that's going to be, but,
I dig it.
Another workshop is Unleash Your Creativity. So everybody come be ready to do some work. And another workshop, and then a third workshop is also called Power in the Fist. She's going to have trivia prizes, final, and then trivia and cosplay showcase, so people can come dressed up
Yeah,
or
I
come.
saw that last year, and people really came in stuff.
Listen, and I love it. We have people far and wide. We do schedule it um, around the same time as the um, Schaumburg Comic Book Festival, Black Comic Book Festival, and the Boston Comics and Color Festival. So we like I think the Boston one is the day before us, and the Schaumburg is the week before. So we're
Mm-hmm.
the last one in this round. And then with this brother named Kamal Ware, who is a historian, and he has a organization called the Black Gotham Experience, and he's an award-winning, multi-dimensional, creative, and art historian, and he's worked with a lot of different like um, archives, like Paramount Pictures. He does creative things. Dynamic speaker, really popular in that con world. So yeah, we looking forward to it. I'm I love how this has evolved,
Mm-hmm.
how DiasporaCon has evolved, because when we started the first DiasporaCon, it was about history and the history of, and we used to have brother Bill. Oh my God,
Yeah, and Bill will give you a whole lecture,
Bill. I mean, we
which I
had,
love because that's how I learned.
yeah, the first cons were more like, the first two were more about history,
Mm-hmm.
um, of how Black people have evolved, and even the sections of the comic book sections that we had for Lit Fest. They were about um, the history of of Black people in comics, because it was an area that like folks didn't know about, and
And
now
a
we,
lot of that was started here. A lot of these.
right, in Connecticut. Mm-hmm. Because I found out in doing this that like the first comic book production or publisher was in, I think, Ansonia or Derby.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of cons and zine things that happen around Connecticut, and I just love where like when Juanita came on board, and I just handed it over because that's her jam. You know, Juanita gonna show up looking fly in her big wig,
Yeah. She
looking
does
like
the
a
cosplay.
superhero with
She does
weapons
the
in her hand.
cosplay. Yeah.
What what would have fit in everything, and yeah, so
It's lovely to see this genre. So it's lovely to see, it's amazing to see Black people in this genre of creativity, because I don't think people think of them. And I follow Reggie Hudlin, and he is all about this whole zine, and writing for Marvel, and a couple of other people who write for Marvel and DC Comics and all of that kind of stuff. It is just fascinating to see how many Black people are in this genre of storytelling. Like
and
it really
thriving
is.
in it. I
Yeah,
mean, to the
thriving in
point,
it.
like I said, I love how the way this diaspora con has evolved. I appreciate the vision of Juanita's curation.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just brilliant. Like last year was just the panels and the speakers were wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
and people making a living at it. That's what we want folks to understand. You know, there's a lot of that we have to look at our own, especially in these times. We got to create for ourselves. We got to do things, start putting it out there for ourselves and staying self-sufficient and supporting each other. So I encourage people to come through. It's family friendly. We're going to have third space as always doing their gaming.
And kids come out for that. I mean,
doing a
people
gaming
like that.
room. They bring these big blocks and things. I mean, that kids corner was fire last
It
time.
was. I was just I was over just like, these kids really know how to do this stuff.
Listen.
It was impressive. So now you got to call out for vendors, right? Because you're
Oh
still taking
yes.
vendors, and the deadline is when?
Oh shoot.
I want
This,
to say the 13th.
I think it is the 13th. Yeah, it is the 13th. Um, because we're in Next Haven. When we were in we at the Adante Center, it was big. It was
Mm-hmm.
like we could have more vendors. This year, at Next Haven, we get as many as we can fit in that space. Um, but we're having it there this year so we can have food trucks and have some variety.
Oh, okay.
For people
Okay.
have variety of food. So we're gonna have a couple of food trucks out there. Um, there's a brother that is now at Next Haven that is does on demand t-shirts. What's his name? Brent.
Mm-hmm.
The brother does the on demand t-shirts and things. So he's gonna be set up doing some stuff
I
too.
think I got one the last time. Wasn't
Hmm.
he at DiasporaCon before?
Hmm. Yep.
Or
Yep.
Culturally. I
Last
know he
year
was at something
he was
because
at
I got a
DiasporaCon.
T-shirt.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got a T. I forgot what it was, but it was something interesting. And I was like, oh yeah, I want this.
Well, it's gonna be within our theme of radical and revolutionary reading.
Okay.
Which is interesting now because like last year when I selected this theme for culturally lit's year, I was going on like Brother Malcolm X and Medgar Evers' 100th birthdays, and now it's a bad word like what radical and revolutionary. We not only promoting banned books, we just out here with banned words.
Band word. We gonna take all the band stuff and put it out there.
Listen, and it's only banned because they don't want you to know.
That's it. That's it.
I
That's
don't
it.
want you to know. Like, come on, people. And a lot of young and I hope that a lot of people families come and young people that are in high school or middle school because they need to we got to see ourselves. We got to continuously and we have to do it. We have to do it now. Like we did once
Yeah.
before there was before desegregation. When we were segregated, we had to do a for us by us, and this is what we do, and this is how we learn. And where it was a value to learning about ourselves, and not and because I personally feel like parts of segregation was homogenizing our culture in our history, and I think we have to gird up right now and go back to doing supporting each other, collaborating. The artists of the Harlem Renaissance and the Black Arts Movement, they were a bunch of artists that got together and created their own events in spaces that Black people owned and things like that. So yeah, we got to get back to that
Yeah.
because these people are trying to homogenize and and just wipe us out
And
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 say
and they're doing it in real time in broad daylight. Do you know what I mean?
in your
Like,
face. To say that it's. And why shouldn't we know about each other? That's the other thing. I mean, yes, we are promoting our culture, but other people can come. People outside of the African diaspora can come to our events. They may learn something. And sometimes when you know more about another culture, then you understand. Like you just gain a better relationship with people that you interact with. Maybe
mhm.
I don't know. You can't
No.
change no minds, but you got to have understanding of it. Black people from the time they are born are, we always have to interact with white folks, and a lot of times white folks don't have to interact with us unless they only interact with us when they see something on TV or when they come into an urban area to work, and then they go back out to their bubble.
This is
wherever
true.
they live, and they may or may not see anybody that is of color,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's somebody that is uh managing their lawn or serving them or cleaning their house,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So this is a way for us to show everyone black excellence in the talents of everyone, and I encourage all other cultures to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know we think about that. I'm on the Cultural Affairs Commission, and we talk about that, like how we can all come together, because everybody seems to be scrambling and panicking. I think like this is a time, as before the Depression and before all the other programs and stuff happen. Because these programs and stuff, these the nonprofit funding and all that from the government wasn't happening before. What, 200 years ago? People was just making it happen. They were just making it happen. Like, yo, you know, depending on the benevolence of each other, and people that wanted to support it. And if you want to support it, you will.
Yeah. 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 So what time should people start showing up for DiasporaCon on the 27th?
Um,
How early can we
I
get
think it's
there?
early. Like, I think it's like, let me look at the flyer again. I think you got 10:30 to 5. I'm like, 10:30 is Sunday.
Okay. Okay. I'm with that. I'm with that.
Yeah. Um, Pretty sure it's like 10:30 to 5.
Okay. That's a nice day.
It's a
Um,
full
that's
day.
a full
It's
day.
a full day. Oh, I'm sorry. The first, yeah, yeah. The doors open at 10:30, and programming starts about 11:30. But we want you to come at 10:30. Check out the vendors, whatever. But the programming starts at 11:30, and it goes until, yeah, the keynote is at 4:30.
Do you know who the keynote is? Are you saying or
That's the brother Kamal Ware, the from Black Gotham Experience. He is a
okay.
art historian, the one I was talking about
Mm-hmm.
earlier. Yeah, and the Black Gotham Experience are a dynamic group of young people who are doing great work in spreading the word. And so of um of of Black excellence in the area of comics and graphic novels.
What where are they from again?
Um, New York.
New
They're from.
York.
Yep.
And how did you find them? Like how do you know them?
Juanita found them.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's the programming is on Juanita Sunday.
Well, this
It,
falls right into um her black futurism
it does. It does.
mindset. Like she really embraces that and takes that and you see it in the curation of her work, black
Mhm.
futurism. So DiasporaCon seems like a natural extension of her thinking and the way she sees the world. So
That is why when she came on to the culturally lit team, and they were like, the first thing is that what Shah said to me was like, Miss Eve, um, Juanita should do DiasporaCon. I said, yes, she should. Because Babs, I'll pass a baton. This what people, you know, there's people that been like our age that are been running things or doing something or created something, and stuff doesn't progress unless and then get upset. People get upset because, oh, we can't get no young people in it, because you still got the old people mindset. Now, mind you, yes, we got to Sankofa. We got to recognize where we came from to move forward. But also, if I feel like with culturally lit, I wanted to go into the future. I wanted to. live on, live on beyond me,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, and I don't want to be 75. I want to like over like be like chair of the board looking at what these people create. So, my team is is gonna, I believe in my heart my team is gonna grow, and
Mm-hmm.
some other fabulous minds are gonna come on, because it's the current team I have. They are multifaceted, and
And they're
do
young people,
and they're young.
which is nice. I mean, you really do have young people who are, at the beginning of their artistic careers and who see a whole different kind of world,
And in all the spaces and places that they're in, and see the things that they see all the time, and hear music. I love being with them anytime. We just celebrated Juanita winning the Cultural Heroes Award at the state of Connecticut. Like, that beautiful. That is, and most of the arts heroes were maybe in their 30s. They had a couple few older people, but that's what I really think that and I looked at other organizations throughout the state when we were at that thing, and it's some old people, people that are maybe 50 and over, and oh, I started doing this thing because I love this and I love this and love this, and like, who do you have in succession of you? You know, what happens with that organization when is God forbid something happened to you? Is who can still do your programming? Who can
right? Yeah. Does it die
who
with
can keep
you?
it going, or does it die with you? And I've seen that happen historically with organizations over my time in New Haven. And even when I was in New York, there was a few people that, if you got the I, me, mine attitude, this is mine. Can't nobody do it like me, you know, or you still want everybody to do it. Like, I'm free. I mean, not free, but they bring every idea that they bring to me. We talk once they like, Miss Ife, this is what we want to do. A, B, C, or D. Let's try this. I'm like, okay, because
And
I know
that's pretty
we can make it
much,
happen.
and
And I
that's
know,
how DiasporaCon started, right? You saw an opening for
actually, yes,
showcasing Black
because
graphic novelists.
yep, because what's his, who I said, um that moved to New York, Julius brought it to my attention that we should not just have a section of this, we should have a whole thing, a diaspora. I was like, all right, let's do it. And at the time, brother, Bill, no, Sawyer, what's the name? Was out
Yes.
at Quinnipiac. Don Sawyer was out at
Uh-huh.
Quinnipiac, and he was into that. So he was like, "Yeah, come out here. We got space for you." It was way out there, but we had the space that
And
was free,
people came.
and people came. And then the following year, more people came, and then I was like, you know what? And that was that. The second year is when Juanita came on, and I was like, yeah, you got this, sis. Deuces.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and you not look back. So, you
Mm-mm.
know, uh I think
Yeah.
that's a wonderful thing. So you're looking for vendors now.
Vendors.
And the vendors is y'all have some of the best vendors I've seen.
Listen, and there have been, like, we have a regular group of vendors that, like, because you could get a 2-for-1 deal, right? You could get both DiasporaCon and LitFest in October for $100, or one I think is 50, something like that, or just one of them. So you can make some money, and your sister Sandra Aya comes all the time,
Mm-hmm.
all the time. She's loyal to. There's about 4 vendors that like they just click. Every time we, as soon as we have it up, it's like they on our website. They coming up. And this time we have a lot of creatives in the zines and the art. The art is gonna be fabulous. Like let's support some of these artist people.
Yeah, that beautiful work out
Uh-uh.
there.
There's some gorgeous work out there, and
And
then
very inexpensive. I mean, I bought a piece from this brother at DiasporaCon last year. He had a black and white series of art.
mhm.
Beautiful. So I looked at it, I walked away, I came back, I picked it up. I was like, and it was very different than the other black and white pieces. So
Mhm.
I said, hold this. I'm a walk around one more time. I'll be back. He's like, okay. I came back. I was like, all right, I'm buying this. I said, now I'm gonna leave it here until I get ready to go. He's like, no, don't worry. You pay for it. It's yours. And it's such a stunning piece of art. I couldn't leave it. I was like, I gotta have this. This is a black and white piece. And I was like,
Yeah.
it was so sharp and so precise. I was like, I gotta have this. But I bought a lot of stuff Jackie Buster is always vending. She has
Oh
great
yeah,
stuff.
she gotta. I gotta let them know she gonna come too. And she's gonna personalize some things with our logo
Mm-hmm.
on it. I got some of my Malcolm X earrings on,
Well, you
but
had on Baldwin earrings yesterday,
yeah, because
which were really
I
nice.
did the Baldwin sessions. Yeah, the ones that she made me. Um, because on Thursday mornings, at the Mitchell Library from 11 to 12:30 for those of who are interested in around at that time. Um, mostly for retired people. But I do Baldwin sessions, and that's going to be something that I will continue through Culturally Lit. And I may change the time, but that's going to start up probably in the fall. Um, After DiasporaCon, we're going to take a pause on programming, and we're going to have a film series,
Mm-hmm.
a Malcolm Speaks documentary series, and show and discuss some of his speeches and conversations. And then we're going to add Baldwin Forever because we are forever. I learned from the Baldwin programming last year that like James Baldwin has such a body of work that you could learn from it forever. Because I know from the book club alone, I learned that when the stuff that I read in my 20s and 30s, and I looked when I read it again with my 65-year-old experience, it was totally different for me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Transforming, and it meant something different. So I want people to revisit that. I want to introduce people to that, and I believe that James Baldwin is really important. So we this series that I was asked to do for the Institute for Learning and Retirement, retired learners or whatever, it's IRL, whatever, has just brought me to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this in Culturally Lit's programming and in different spaces.
I like it.
That's coming up. That's coming up.
Well, I mean, you do get to introduce Baldwin to folks who don't have a place to talk about Baldwin in their everyday circles.
Exactly. And a lot of the people in the session, were like heard the name and may have read something in college, and because they retired people, they're like, I don't remember what I read, and they see him in a different light, or they are enlightened. They are enlightened, and we have discussion. I facilitate discussions. I ain't teaching. To be clear, I don't sit up there and lecture nobody. We have a conversation. You read something, we read it. Like we read the poetry. We read some of his poetry yesterday. We looked at a conversation he had with Maya Angelou, and that was like 30 minutes, and then we read his poetry and Maya Angelou's poetry, and it was really enlightening to see, because like people, they would, our prior readings were his real hardcore essays and short stories. And so they were like, oh my God, he's not so radical. These poems are this. And his conversation, the way he spoke with her, was like, oh, surprise. And, again, black people come through. There's got to be some retired black people that got some time during
Where
the
the
day.
retired black people at? Where they at?
I'm not saying, like, come through, get out in front of the TV for an hour and a half. I mean, and it goes by quick. It
Hmm.
goes by quick. So I'm gonna try it again in other spaces. Well, I mean, always use libraries. I'm gonna keep using the libraries as much as I can.
And we've got great libraries in New Haven.
Right.
Each neighborhood has a very distinct library.
Yep. Yep. They do. And so and also came to mind to me. Let me talk to senior services about doing some stuff there.
Yeah, because they still have senior centers, right? They
Hmm.
still exist.
Hmm.
With everything getting cut, I don't know what is still standing, but uh,
My God. So yeah,
senior
that's what we
centers.
got the programming. Like last year, we partied. We like celebrated a lot,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
was
and I
wonderful.
think the year of Baldwin was huge, and people are still celebrating Baldwin. And then this year that you all have decided to do the year of X with Malcolm and Medgar.
Medgar Evers.
It's
And I
is
want to do. I definitely want to do more on Medgar Evers, um, which will probably be more in Lit Fest and in the fall. And also celebrate his birthday in some kind of way in July. Um, because people don't realize that there's less people that know about him and what he did. Like, we did not vote. This is really, and I feel like Medgar Evers' legacy is really important, especially now,
mm-hmm.
because we're in the place we're in because of the result of people either not voting or voting a certain way. And Medgar Evers was about having like awareness, like voter rights, voter registration, not just voter registration, but voting rights. Why are you voting? and
Right.
and understanding the process for black people in a time where we did not vote, and where people were trying to stop us from doing that, and we just went through that, and we're getting ready to have to fight for that again.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to have to fight for that right again, because it's coming down the line. He want to be
It's
president.
here.
He think he king of the United States, or co-king, because him and the muskrat are like co-conspirators
Co-conspirators.
of whatever. and
Well,
and then we have to do, and Medgar Evers was about like making the politicians accountable, and just not have this madness. All rights for all people. And it's really
mhm.
significant. Like, his work is so significant, and especially now. And I did not realize that last year when I said, "Oh, we're gonna have the year of X, radical and revolutionary reading in the spirit of Malcolm X and Medgar Evers," and they were friends, right? And all of them were connected to James Baldwin.
Yeah, that was the time. I mean, those were each other's contemporaries.
Right.
I mean, they were.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And Medgar Evers working in a time where, like, the NAACP didn't really depend on government funds, because government didn't agree with them. So it was private funding that put that together. That's how they started out. It wasn't, you know, now, we got. I feel like folks got comfortable in the time of all these grants and stuff coming out in the 70s, 80s, and oh, money, 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 money. Like, oh, the government has this, the government has that. Now it's drying up, y'all. What we gonna do? We gotta go back to a time where we were self-sufficient, independent on each other, supporting our Black businesses, our organizations, whether it's your time or your coins.
That's it.
What you gonna
Well,
do?
I want people to be geared up for DiasporaCon Sunday, April 27th at Next Haven. And Ife will definitely be back for Culturally Lit in the fall, and we'll have a bigger conversation about what that'll look like for this year for 2025. So that'll be
And
exciting.
people can go on our website and sign up for we have a newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
We have a newsletter that in monthly lit pics.
I love it.
And I write stuff in the newsletter also, and we do Instagram live
Okay.
for a
So
couple
you all
hours.
had it here. Okay. So thank you, Harry, for riding shotgun this week, even though you didn't let us see your tan. Thank you, Ife, for coming on and talking about DiasporaCon. It's one of my favorite events in New Haven. And I'm looking forward to the fourth annual
Fourth
DiasporaCon. Harry fixed it, so I didn't posted it all up. I didn't change it all out. So the DiasporaCon, the fourth annual DiasporaCon, is going to be at Next Haven, right here in the neighborhood. And y'all can come and spend the day. Bring your kids. There'll be interactive stuff, vendors, food trucks, and really, really interesting, good time. So
and a really good speaker, Kamal
and a
Ware,
great
Black
speaker.
Gotham Experience.
Yes, I will be in the space. I will be in the space. Thank you, Ife.
Right. Thank you, Babs.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.